So I picked up the Hornady 53 grain hollow points. I wanted to try some bullets that were, flat based, because, I mean, I shoot off the bench and only at 100 yards. So basically, I'm sort of like the poor man's bench rest shooter here with my Ruger Predator. And I wanted to try some flat base bullets because everything I've been reading is that generally bench rest shooters tend to, for a whole bunch of myriad reasons, I'm not going to go into it, but flat base bullets, especially since I'm only shooting out to 100 yards, the boat tails stabilize the bullets farther down range, so I don't need any boat tail. So I wanted to try that, and then I picked up some Nosler 55 grain hollow points also, these Varmageddon. And you can see kind of that's what they look like. And so let's take a look at the Hornadies here, 53 grain. So what I did was I jumped into my my Hornady manual here, and I know it's the 9th edition, but taking a look at our bullet here, 53 grains, I came up with a little bit of a problem. So the overall length here for the bullet that they're showing, or for the the round, is 2.230. So I got my Hornady length gauge here, and I did all my measurements inside of my Ruger, and it turns out that this bullet contacted the lands right about 2.200, right? As opposed to that's 30 thousandths shorter than what the length is shown in the book, right? I did a little bit of research trying to figure out, all right, what do I do here? Do I back it off, or do I keep it? What I decided to do is I did 3 different loads. So I did a load at 2.230 overall length, and then I did a load at 2.200, which is right about where I was seeing that the bullet was actually contacting the lands. I took my bullet in here. I actually made a dummy round. I put some, took a black Sharpie, went around the bullet, chambered it, and I could see that it was pretty much right around 2.200, where it was just barely a mark, so it was just barely touching. And so I made some rounds at 2.200, and then I made some rounds a little bit shorter off of that, about 50 thousandths shorter, 2.150. Now, obviously, you make the rounds, shorter, seat the bullet shorter, you're going to increase the pressure in the round. But then also, if you're seating into the lands, you're increasing the pressure right off the bat. As soon as the round goes off, there's a spike. So I'm trying to find that happy medium. Now, since I only shoot at 100 yards and I'm just a sort of weekend shooter here, I'm not doing competition or anything. And really all I do is I just try to play around with rounds just to have fun reloading them and come up with the cheapest, lowest power round that is going to give me decent accuracy. I try to get it as accurate as I can, obviously, with the amount of powder I put into each round, but I really want to go with the lowest thing. So I was going to use our trusty Varget here, and taking a look in the manual, Varget, the lowest charge they have is 23.3 grains. So I wanted to be on the safe side. Now, I know you're not supposed to go below kind of what the minimum is here, but considering that I'm kind of jamming the round into my lands here at the suggested 2.230, and I'm not really compressing the round, but I'm reducing I'm putting the seat in the bullet lower, so that's going to increase pressure. I went with a 23.0 grains of Varget, right? So let me get this out of the way and show you what we came up with here. So here are the results with our Hornady And I'm using Starline brass here. These were actually fired like 3 times and then I annealed them. So this is the first firing after annealing. So really kind of the 4th firing on some of these. At 2.230, which was in the lands, right? 5 shots, 100 rounds, or sorry, 100 yards. Yeah, not that great. Just over an inch. Although they seem to be, I like how Johnny from Johnny's Reloading Bench, the eye test, it's kind of a big group, right? Going to 2.200, not much difference, pretty much the same there. Going a little bit shorter here now, the shortest one, 2.150, 0.75 of an inch, but that was just that one last bullet right there. Otherwise, these 4 right here, right, they grouped pretty nice right there. That was the only last, I don't know which round that was, but only one shot that kind of opened that group up. So, and I didn't see any pressure signs. If we take a look at our ammo here, so this is the top round is the 2.230. The middle one is the 2.200, and the last rounds right here, and you can see. Hopefully that focuses in, but no pressure signs whatsoever here. Let me give you a good close-up view of those. Nice rounded, minimum pressure, minimum powder, and they worked fine. I didn't have any problems, closing the bolts on any of them or anything like that. So even with the ones that were kind of jammed in there, and the funny thing is, like when I did chamber these here, I chambered it, the longest ones, and then took it out and took a look at the actual bullet, and you could just see a small square mark where the lands, or the top of the lands, just touched the bullet, but they were square. They weren't like big huge marks of like a rectangle. So that told me that, I don't know what it told me, but I think on one of the bench rest sites, one of the articles I read, that's actually kind of what they look for. They don't look for a big giant mark where this thing is like cutting into the bullet. If you're going to touch the lands, you want to see a perfectly square mark, which means that it's going into the lands just as far as it's rotating across the lands. If that makes sense. I don't know if that makes a difference, but that's what I read. So I'm actually going to try to reload some more 2.150s here. And again, just 23 Varget. We'll see how that goes. So let's take a look at Nosler. Now here's an interesting one, and I kind of came up with the same situation on here. I think the Noslers, when you took a look at the load data, they actually had you loading these, and I'm sorry I don't have them in front of me, but Nosler's own load data had you loading them to 2.260, okay? And being that the bullet shape is pretty much the same as that 53 grain, they were well into the lands too, and you can see here's what they look like, right? And yeah, so they would be well into the lands at 2.260. So needless to say, I didn't even try that. I actually loaded them at 2.210, which, after doing my measurements and everything like that, that was about 20 thousandths off of the lands, right? So they were actually touching the lands at 2.230. I was seeing marks on the bullets, so I went 20 thousandths off just to see how it would group. So let me grab that. And I only did 10 rounds, but they were not too bad. They actually 0.74 and 0.68. Nice round grouping right there. Again, one kind of flying out, one over here. But that looks promising, right? So I'm going to go ahead and try reloading some more of those. And again, here's the brass. It's these guys right here. And no signs of any pressure whatsoever. None of them are flat or anything. Nice rounded primers. No problems there. So that one looked really promising. So I'm actually going to load up some more of these because these are not that expensive. I don't remember how much I paid for them, but they were on the cheaper side. So I'm gonna go ahead and load up some more of those too, and see how they do with our Varget here. And I might adjust now the actual powder, kind of try to step it up a little bit, do a little bit of a ladder test. But again, I'm just shooting to get the cheapest round I can get that's accurate. So we'll play around with that a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and start loading some more up, and then well, that'll be the next video, hopefully. Till next time, take care. Bye.